Throwing ass on the gram, getting laughs at the stand. Only she can, OnlyFeehans. It's OnlyFeehans.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of OnlyFeehans with me, your host, Kerryn Elizabeth Feehan. And our guest today has a Netflix special coming out. It's tomorrow for us. It will have been out when this is out. It's called 37 and Single. It's on Netflix. Freid is here, everybody.
Thank you so much for having me. Such a pleasure.
Dude, I watched the trailers.
You did?
It's funny as hell.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's like, it's weird. This is like the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
So it's out, when this is out, it'll be out. But
Right.
it's like, I don't know. I'm just like ready for like,
The accolades.
yeah. Right.
No,
I'm
but
ready
you
to
did
be-
the work. You've done all the shit.
Yeah.
You've been fucking promoting it. You're going to continue to promote it, I'm sure. And
We'll push it. Yeah.
And it's fucking exciting, dude.
It's very exciting.
When
It
you
was
started comedy, do you think I'm going to have a Netflix special one day?
I don't know what I thought. I think as time went on, I was like, I don't know how this is going to happen for me.
Okay.
You know, like we taped the special in December.
Okay.
And I was like happy with it, proud of it, all that stuff. And then you're like, all right, we'll try and sell it.
Okay.
And then as you're trying to sell it, you're like, what the fuck? You know? Like,
Say it again. What
right,
the fuck?
What the fuck? You know, and then you start, there's doubt. You're like, well, what were you even thinking making it? You know, like I love doing stand-up. Like I love going on the road. I like working on it. Like
Yeah.
I like doing shows every night. And I'm like,
Right.
so when you're like, then you're like, I got to put it on YouTube. And like, I was like, I've never really had the YouTube thing work for me.
No.
Just not in general. Like
Right.
it's just not the venue where I've had like
Yeah.
the response from.
Right.
So I was like, how? And then you start doubting. You're like, whatever. And then Netflix was like, let's do it.
Nice.
And I was like, that's exactly where I need to be. You know, like I was like, yeah, this is a comfy, cozy spot. You know, because like for me, like also like, I think sometimes YouTube gets into the like, like the culture of like, yeah, this is where we go, where we can talk about real shit.
Like underground.
Right.
Like below, like nobody knows.
Right,
Like
everyone's
fucking
got cut sleeve shirts on.
super blue. Like, yeah.
yeah. And I was like, I'm looking to have fun.
Right.
Talk about dating. It's 37 and single. Like, I
Yeah.
like talking about body issues. I like talking about my family. Like, and I think
stuff.
it's relatable. It's made for a night on the couch where you pop on Netflix
Yes.
and you go, me and my girlfriend, me and my boyfriend, hey, let's sit and enjoy
Yeah.
a stand-up special and then talk about it afterwards. Like, I
Right.
talk about breakups in it and like, if you're like looking to figure out like, well, why did that guy act that way during the breakup? I'm talking about that.
Insight.
Yeah, a little bit of insight.
I feel like
it's all
that's
fun.
your lane.
It
like
is. It always has been.
The male mind, the insight, letting like your average girl know what the average guy is thinking.
Absolutely. And I think like, and saying it in an edible way.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's so funny. Like I yell at the Bachelor and Bachelorette and like, there'll be sometimes where a guy will be like, he's like, I watch with, couples watch me together,
Yeah.
the Bachelor together. So it's brought their like boyfriend
Right.
into the Bachelor universe.
Yeah, because he has an advocate. He has somebody on his side.
That's
He's like,
exact-
see, babe, that's
Well,
what I would do.
That's the funniest part is they all the boyfriends will be like, you say what I would have said,
Right.
but I get in trouble and you don't. She
'Cause
thinks
you-
you're funny and I get in trouble. I'm like, yeah, I've moved a couple words around.
You finessed it
Yeah.
over time.
There's a little bit of a talent there, and they go, it's like, so I think a lot of times it's like some dude is like, I don't know how to explain my frustrations, the breakup,
Yeah.
my feelings, my, body shit for men, like straight men.
I feel like you guys aren't allowed. You're really shamed. You're not allowed to express that vulnerability.
Right.
You're only allowed to shit on yourselves when you're that fat.
Right. And you go, and then you get to hear, aw, like from the worst person in the crowd.
And you
it's
go,
like, no, I wasn't going for an aw.
Oh, laugh at me, motherfucker.
Yeah, let's fucking laugh about it. Like, and your boyfriend doesn't want to hear an aw. Like, that's not like a real fucking boner maker.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
when you laugh with us, that is a boner maker, even if you're like when you're making those jokes. So
You don't make excuses for guys.
no.
Like I feel like you're very straightforward with the girls when it's like when he's giving you red flags, like read the red flags. Like some guys just like aren't worth saving.
Right. I think that's like the one, it's funny. I was on when I see comments from certain men to things I say, they're like, he doesn't speak for all of us. And you're like,
that's a bad guy.
Yeah, you go, then put holes in my point.
Right.
You know, like
yeah.
I think I said something like, I always say, guys don't go on dates with women they're not attracted to.
Right.
And that sounds kind of icky. But the reality is a lot of women that write into my podcast, they'll be like, I wasn't sure. I went on the 17th date and I'm still not sure if I'm attracted to him. You get that email all the time.
That's wild.
It's wild. And to me, I'm like, no.
But I feel like they're receiving the message from like other women, like just wait until there's literally no one left.
Absolutely. They go, other women confide in each other so much where they go, I don't want to hear your shit anymore.
Right.
Keep trying.
Just keep trying.
Yeah,
like
keep
maybe
trying.
I'll find something.
Right.
And then one good thing and they just like expound upon it. Like he's great.
Right. Maybe you'll get wet on the 80th date. That's kind of like their message. And no man is like, well, maybe you'll like her. No. We never push each other towards the date of like, and so it's meant to be a positive thing of like, hey, if a guy's on the date with you, he's attracted. Like if you want to know anything, if you never want to be confused, if you want to feel confident in your body, you are his type if he is there.
If he took you out.
Absolutely.
Right.
Not texted.
No.
If he's physically on the date.
Yes.
So, and that's kind of an icky thing to say because you go, and I'm not saying he wants to date you. I'm not saying, I'm saying at his most carnal, animalistic, he's like, I am here physically.
Yes.
Because my penis let me out of the house.
Okay. Yeah. And he sees the potential and the opportunity. And if all goes well, like it's almost like balls in your court. Like it's your date to fuck up if you're the girl and he asks you out.
Right. Or I guess it's your date to go take that out of your mind. Did I wear the right thing?
Right.
Am I looking right? I feel uncomfortable. I mean, I understand mind, body, soul. You got to feel good to date well.
There are these like new like metro dudes though sometimes that are like, oh, do you know that like your tag's sticking out? They'll be like the flaw finder kind of dudes. Like,
I don't like that person.
Is that a knockoff that like if they know brands better than the girl sometimes? I'm kind of like, why are you so nitpicky about stuff?
Well, sometimes like they're trying to show like I get it.
They know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Depends.
So a lot of times it's just like talking about like, like I get a lot of women that will write in like, I'm so confused. And I'm like, it's the answer. Like I'm giving you the answer to the test.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is happening for this reason. And, it's and I'm not trying to like make excuses because like 9 out of 10 times, whatever they're explaining, like I've been that guy.
Right.
Like I've texted back. I've not texted back.
Yeah.
I've been on the date where it didn't work out. I've gone on the, we went on a date for 4 hours. What does it mean? That's one date to him.
Right. Are you sure it's not 4?
Right. No. 4 hours. It meant more. No, he tried to fuck for 4 hours. So I try to do it in a fun way and also make it positive,
Right. I went on a date with a 26-year-old the other night.
Where'd you guys go? Chuck E. Cheese? Go to...
Well, I told one story of like a date that I had gone on like recently where like the guy was pretty clear he had a girlfriend like when I put all the pieces together and like the next day text. But this new child is he's madly in love with me.
How do you meet?
So I was out to dinner with my dog mom friends.
Okay.
We have like a clique. There's like 5 of us. 4 of us were at the dinner.
Okay.
And he was bartending. And he was just...
man. This guy...
I don't drink though. Okay. We're not at the bar. We're eating dinner. He sees me and he just starts making eyes, And then he comes over and he checks on our table. But like...
The dog mom group, are we all similar ages?
Yeah.
Yeah. He saw a flock of hens... And he was like, where can I lay my eggs? Yeah, this guy. So, yeah.
You're probably right. He's from Ireland. He's from Limerick, which, are you familiar with Ireland?
I'm familiar with their poetry. I don't know.
According to our friend Colin Turrell, Limerick's kind of like a scummy city.
Ooh, so it's like, it's got... I went to Ireland. Mm-hmm. I went to like Dublin and Belfast, and Dublin. You're like, this is Boston.
Okay.
And then I think everything goes down from there.
Yeah.
Like there's no New York.
Nope.
Like I think it's like, oh, this is Boston. Then they go, oh, and then you go anywhere else, and it's like you're in Albany 70 other times. Which, listen, I get it, but it's very towny. It feels like.
And, well, he was 18 when he had a stroke on the rugby field after so many concussions. He was like a semi-pro boxer, but then I think more concussions there. Street fights. More concussions. Okay. And I realize, well, all these things may sound bad to some women.
Yeah, to you, he's literally like, yeah. You're like, he is speaking my love language. Oh, you're a big dummy who gets beat up all the time. Hi, I'm Kerryn.
Come here. Come do some physical labor at my house. I have some paintings for you to hang.
With an accent and cauliflower ear.
Oh, my God. The accent, too. I was like, we're in love. But then we had a sleepover, and we
just do this in a Boston accent. Just do me one favor. Just say, "What up, kid?" And then I'll be yours. That's all he had to do.
I know, so cute. And but then we had a sleepover, and my thing is like I'm real like health conscious. I'm on my circadian rhythm thing. Like I'm an early riser with the dog. If I don't have a show, I can fall asleep at 10 p.m. No problem.
Good for you. It's a lifestyle I wish I could like
it's really
have
hard.
The stamina for. Not the stamina, the like I wish I was more structured in that way. Like I was waking up at 7 a.m. every day for a while, like last summer-ish, and I was like loving life. Like I felt good. Yeah. Go have my coffee. It was very adult. That's when you're like, oh, I'm aging, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
would you nap? That's how they used to do it. Like prehistoric times or whatever, like the first people, they would wake up really early with the sun. They would do all their shit, hunting, gathering, whatever. And then they would always take a nap midday. Yeah. And then they would have like 2 days in one.
The siesta.
Yes.
I guess that's the
ancient Mayan. I don't know.
The origin story. Yeah, I'll take it. I believe you.
So anyway, this kid sleeps in my bed all day. And he's snoring.
No.
Right. But that's the 26-year-old who doesn't see how that's like incorrect.
In what world? I get. Yeah, you're right. One time I like the idea that you're like, okay, I'm gonna go walk the dog, and he's like, yeah, have fun. Like what?
To his credit, he came to walk the dog.
I'm leaving. Go home.
I know.
Where does he live?
That's my thing. Hell's Kitchen. Don't go
right
there,
up
fans.
The street.
No, I know. No, listen. I can't wait to get, especially a first night sleepover.
First night, I'm like, hey, good work, everybody. Right. Time to go. Let's clean up. Yeah.
Like do your routine. Go back to your normal life.
Where did you go? So this is the first date he comes home.
Yeah, he comes over after bartending. This is me. I'm welcoming this chaos.
Well, hold on. So you're out with the flock of hens, and he comes over.
And he
he's
gets
like,
my number. We start texting. We didn't sleep back together that night.
Okay. So then you start texting, and then after his shift one night, he's like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "I'm up sober."
We planned for him to come over.
Okay.
I went.
So no date, just come over.
I went and had dinner while he was working. I had a salad at his bar. And he came to...
At his bar?
At his bar.
So you watch him work?
I watch him work.
How is he? Is he a good bartender?
He's adorable. Like a gift of gab, you know.
Just talking everyone up. In between talking up other women, he looks at you. Yeah. Little winky poo.
Comes over, kisses me over the bar in front of everybody. Come on. 100% in love with me.
Who is this guy? This guy, that is 26. No thought of the future. No thought of disappointing. Like this is like when I was 26. I was in a similar vein, but not the same.
Would you fall in love like real fast?
Well, I would just do things that I wouldn't think of, like how it would affect the other person's thought process. Right. So it's like I'm kissing over the bar, and I'm like, I'm just kissing over the bar.
Big whoop.
But to them, it's like
public display, of
like the way you said, like in front of everyone at work, and then him at work, he's like, look, I'm kissing this chick at work. Like
an old broad,
right?
Look at all
a doggy daycare, you know. Yeah, he's like not. He's just thinking in the, 26. When you're 26, you think in those next 10 seconds.
100%.
Nothing beyond that.
No, you're in the moment, and he's not. It's not that he's like. I mean, he's responsible in the sense that he's got a steady job, and he's actually bought real estate in Ireland, and like.
We don't know. Go on. Don't say that.
Nicole's laughing at me so hard. She's like,
real estate in Ireland. What is that? Yeah, like, I got space on the moon. I bought a star the other day. What are you talking about? Who cares? Real estate in Ireland. You said that as if it was like it was Manhattan. What? Oh, he has real estate in Ireland. He bought a star. He named it after me. Like, what are you like? This guy's.
I'm talking him up. This is the love of my life, Jared. Shut up.
This guy has swept you off your feet. This guy. A week from now, you're gonna be like, he's gone.
He's gone. He's after the so
I can't find him. He moved back to his ranch in Ireland that he bought.
It's like
started producing potatoes, and he was like, I gotta go back.
It's like a plot of land. I know.
It's got like
dirt. It's
he's
a
got a
pile of
hay
dirt.
bale. Yeah. Real estate in Ireland. He didn't even say Dublin. It wasn't even Dublin. It wasn't even a major city. Just the country.
Just the ruins. The listen. I believe in him. And,
I believe in him too. I believe in him and his coxman. That this guy is gonna fuck every woman in Manhattan with one story that he keeps retelling.
Oh man, do you think?
No, I want to believe that I do when I talk about like guy shit. I do think it's less evil and plotted than sometimes women will tell the story.
Yeah.
Like this idea of like he ghosted me. And then, like, the ghost versus the fizzle. Like,
right.
When people say it fizzled, it means you just didn't like them.
Yeah.
When you say they ghosted.
You didn't like each other.
Right.
If it fizzled.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, but you can't speak for them. That's
right.
the point is, like, when you say it fizzled, that means you didn't care.
Right.
And then when you say they ghosted, it's like, oh, he planned this whole thing. Oh, no, he didn't. It's the same.
And you probably did get a text that, like, felt that he was ending it.
Right.
And maybe he wasn't as straightforward as he could have been, but like at some point you have to pick up on what people are saying to you.
I mean, I talk about in the special just the act of acting weird to try and get to try and get a woman to like get the hint that you're like have something to say or you're not where you think they are and you're like, I'll just like pull away a little bit, which isn't great. Again, it's not like I'm proud of that, but that's something I've done.
Yeah.
And then you pull away, and then they go, and they're like, I'm confused. And you're like, you're not confused. You went to college.
You're in denial.
Yeah, that's fair. So you like, how many women with MBAs are like, I'm so confused by this bartender from Ireland. Like, it's like, no, he's a dumb fucking idiot.
He's so mysterious.
Right, he owns land.
Shut up.
He has real estate in Ireland.
Here, pig.
Hup. Yeah, this is the story you told your family in Massachusetts.
Oh, my mom
weekend.
thinks we're going to Ireland. She's like, how long is it going to take you to marry this kid?
Are we going to go live at his guest house on the property?
Yes, it's a castle. He owns a castle. It's the O'Douls castle. Wait, so then he slept in my bed all day long. And listen, this was like a
Why don't you say, get out of here?
Yeah.
It is hard to do.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Someone's like really comfy cozy. You're like, I like them, but
He
I'm
had
like,
to
I
go
don't
to
like them
work.
at 10 a.m. I
Right.
like them more at 10 p.m.
Yeah, I just, he had to work, so I had some empathy. I was like, let him sleep. He's got to be at work again at 5 p.m., I woke him up at 4:30 and was like, you need to get in the shower.
4:30 p.m.
Yeah. And
What were you doing all day?
all my ditties. All my chores.
Just
Walking the
chore.
dog, going to the gym, doing my shopping. Probably got an IV drip. Maybe got a facial. I kept coming back and he'd be like full on snoring.
How hard is he at bartending? What is he at? The fucking... What is he at the... Is he doing like bartending competitions at night? How is he so tired? Flipping bottles. He's like, I gotta rest for the next competition.
We didn't really sleep, if you catch my drift.
Ooh.
So there's that too. And like after the dog walk, I came and I took a snooze.
Is this podcast like Penthouse Forums? Like, do you just tell these stories? I feel like you just tell these stories about dates you went on. We didn't do a lot of sleeping. If you know what I mean.
And he's uncircumcised, which I love. I think it's so fun.
This is why
It's
this
like,
YouTube presence is so
I know.
huge. These men are just like sitting there.
I know.
Tell me more about the date.
I get the the uncircumcised king comments all the time. I love you guys.
Oh yeah, the Dublin.
It's just fun.
Ireland.
It's just
Uncircumcised. You've been there before.
Yeah, dated a guy for almost 2 years. I loved it.
What did you love about it?
I don't
or
know.
is this just you talking to the
I loved it.
the comment section going nuts?
It's fun. It's like a little puppet show. It's like a good
It is
time.
a different
It's
thing.
a different vibe. It's like you can feel I feel like the sensation I feel is a little different.
Well, it's extra skin.
It's extra skin, extra sensitive skin, for them, like right at the head and stuff. And like I feel like I like if they're getting off more, that's getting me off more.
Yeah.
It's like all that whole thing. And he was, excellent in bed. A lot
The
of
schmegma
sexual
thing.
chemistry. Around the cleaning.
The cleaning.
His was pretty clean.
It was?
My ex was very good about his too.
Really?
Yeah.
I tend to think that it, like, as a Jewish man,
Right.
I'm circumcised, of
Yeah.
course. So, listen, no judgment. Just because I love vanilla doesn't mean fuck chocolate. It's
Right.
okay.
Absolutely.
You can have whatever your parents gave you.
That's
but
the thing.
I would assume that someone is more responsible if they have.
You gotta be.
You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to clean it.
Yes.
And someone once came back at me. They're like, "Oh, stop spreading rumors." I'm not saying it's a negative thing.
No.
You gotta clean that
You gotta
shit.
get in there with a Q-tip.
A Q-tip.
I mean, look, think about it. It's moist air trapped. Any bacteria
Right.
that gets in there is gonna fester.
Ooh, after a flight, that thing must
Right.
stink.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
think about a guy plays a game of sports and then doesn't do a good job washing.
Oh my God.
A game of sports.
A game
Kerryn?
of sports.
Who
Yes, that
are
was
you?
a wild sentence. That was almost as wild as he owns real estate in Ireland. You sounded like his mom.
Can I tell you though? I looked at him after he slept all day and he's going to work and I just told him. I was like, listen, I'm going to be brutally honest with you right now. It's a pretty big turn off that you just slept all day.
I like that about you. Okay. It's a
He
turn
got-
off. But you said it the way that I would tell someone to say it. Like,
Yeah.
men are motivated by women who are turned off by them.
Oh.
Like, that is a motivational thing. Not, why do you keep doing, what is it? No, like, I am physically. It's like this, like, women dress for other women. Like, men dress for women.
Yeah.
So everything
Oh.
we do is in service of, like, maybe we'll look hot to a woman. Like,
Right.
the car you drive, the suit you put on. You're not thinking of, like, what do these guys think of my style? You're like, will it impress a woman? So
Yeah.
when you say I'm turned off
Yeah.
by this whole action, there's redemption there because you're
Right.
like, you could turn me on.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But he took it and he got very defensive.
Of course, ego.
He's 26.
Yeah, ego bruised.
And he's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I was fucking working all night. He starts getting
Yeah, maybe you go home and sleep. Yeah,
I
maybe
think-
you do this behind the
So
curtains.
I don't see it,
Yeah.
because every time I would come back after doing whatever chore I
Right.
had created for myself, I would come back and he's like, and it's just unattractive. And then he was like, well, maybe if you came back into bed, I would have given you a cuddle. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Giving you a cuddle.
I was like, I don't want to cuddle with somebody who's going like
Right.
every 5
The
seconds.
cuddles are done. I don't want to. Adults don't want to cuddle
During
at
the
1
day.
p.m.
No.
We got shit to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not depressed.
I want to look at the
Like,
bed
not that-
made.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta go. The sun was out.
Yeah.
I have a pool at my building. Like,
Yeah. There's things to go on. There's a whole thing to the day. I
yeah.
get it.
But I did say to him, I was like, because he got really butthurt about it, and then he took that as just rejection, just pure rejection.
Right.
When he had already laid all his cards on it, he's madly in love. We've known each other for 72 hours. He's madly in love. We're getting married. He's gonna
Right.
get me pregnant. all these funny jokes.
Yes.
And then I said that, and yeah, he just took it as like a personal attack. But I told him, I was like, listen, we could have lunch, and I could be totally attracted to you all over again if you're
Right.
sober and charismatic and whatever. But I think that
So what happened?
we haven't seen each other since.
Really?
We've been texting. I mean, when was that? Wednesday or something? I think it was like midweek.
I think this is an interesting thing that you're bringing up because it's like this idea of like the chase.
Right.
Like you gave him a bar and he either goes over it or he doesn't.
Right.
Like, and honestly, like, do you want to date a guy? Well, we always end up putting this on the other person. Like, what do they think? What do they think? You're basically saying, do I want to date a guy who sleeps all day in my bed till 4:30?
Right. And it's just like,
And nah.
that's just a non-negotiable for me.
It's going to be no.
Yeah.
I watched it. I saw it. Not into it. And then you
I'm
told
not
him.
going to dance around it to protect your feelings. I'm not going to like have another day like this.
Right. And it's okay that he got, hurt by this. Like, I
Yeah.
think it's okay. Ego bruised. Yeah, that happens. And then you go,
If a guy said that, imagine saying that to a chick. Like, you kind of turn me off because you were snoring in my bed all day, homegirl.
He wouldn't
I would
be wrong.
Like, oh,
Right.
Like, he would be totally right. But
Like-
I would be like, oh my God.
right. Your lack of motivation really turns me off.
Right.
That is a real thing,
Sure.
and I once had a woman tell me, she was like, we had gotten past the point of like farting in front of one another.
Oh, lovely.
But the farts were funny to her. So I
Okay.
was like, I'm going to keep playing the hits, like, let's keep it going. And there was a point where I was doing it so much that she was like, I'm turned off by the farting. And I was like, oh,
you
no, but this is who I am, you know?
Like that you have like a stomach ache all the time.
Right, I gotta hold them
myself.
in. And then like, but then I had to like readjust, you know? You gotta like, and then you either readjust or you don't. Like if it would have been weird if I was like,
it's not worth it.
This is how I live. You know, that's who I am. You know, but for him, he could say, you know, this is how.
I don't think it's fair for me to ask him to change at 26. I don't think it's fair for me to be like, hey, can you live a healthier lifestyle? Like you're 26 years old.
I don't think it's fair. I disagree with you. I think it's fair to let him know what turns you on and off.
Sure.
I don't think it's fair for him to then make you feel badly for how you feel.
Yeah.
Like for him to say, I gotta, you know, this is how I live.
Like, what do you want me to do?
What do you want me to do?
I was up all night. Yeah.
Nah, that's not really a good excuse. No, he can't tell you how to feel.
Right.
That's defense mechanism. He's trying to now like gaslight you into like feeling badly for your feelings. Yeah. No, it's like
crazy for being turned off by a guy sleeping in my bed all day. I don't think so. I think a lot of people would be turned off.
You can't feel. You can go, wow, it's crazy that makes me wet or not.
Right.
But it's not. I am crazy for having. You know, like
it's a physical response.
Totally. So his response is really like. Again, it's those guys in the comments who are like, no, don't talk for every guy. Yeah. And you're like,
But you're right. It's up to him whether if I'm worth it, if he wants to see me, I have to have these sort of boundaries and I have these expectations.
Right. The idea that he couldn't get out of like when he got up for the walk with you.
Yeah.
I even more of a turnoff to me would be like, you got for the walk. And you didn't want to just like go home to your own bed? Yeah. Like you have your own shit. You have your own bed.
Yeah.
Is your apartment, like we've only known each other for so long, is it that much of a shithole that you like are better off here than there?
Yeah.
What about sleeping here around someone you barely know is the draw for you?
Yeah.
That's it. It goes deeper. Like this whole thing of like, what, I gotta go to work. And it's like, no one's telling you not to sleep for work.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Do it at home.
Yeah.
Do it at your place. Well, maybe it'll work out.
I don't think he's ever going to call you again. I think he's on his plot of land.
I have sort
out
of
in
like
Ireland.
I don't know how I feel about love anymore because there's just so many like married guys in my DMs and stuff like that. I don't want to.
Why do you think that is?
Because of my sex work, probably.
I don't think we've talked about that. I'm sure you've talked about it here.
I'm like, oh let's talk about that. Hey guys.
They're out there.
It's funny. It's you know, the stuff that I deal with as far as like the mental strife that comes along with it. You know, when people make comments like you're breaking your father's heart and like,
do people like? What's the end game for them to write such a thing? Like I like. You seem like you have a good handle on it.
Yeah.
Like and it seems like it's all kind of fun and games.
Yeah.
From afar. Like it doesn't seem like you're like. Like I'd be like, I'd be worried about Kerryn. Like it doesn't seem that way.
No, I don't like. I'm not like sad or like having any type of like mental breakdown about it. Those little comments once in a while will like get to me a little bit, but then like I have a great relationship with my dad. I always have, and like sometimes when people say that, I'm like, if your dad's that involved in like your life and your personal life, and like I think to me that's weird.
Well, I think it's more weird. Yes, but I think even just the act of needing to say that to someone.
That's somebody who's like, yeah.
You're like, why do you need to lash out at me because I'm living a great life due to this like nice thing that isn't really that I've been able to like put into like context in my own life. I don't know. I would understand that you would lose faith in humanity.
Yeah.
Like that. Like when you see the messages from a married guy, you go, well, is anyone
faithful?
happy?
Is anybody faithful?
Right. And it's like, you know, I always, when I talk about like internet dating and like, you know, the fuckboy conversation comes up, I'm like, you know, we were, you know, to a lot of people to go, well, my parents were married 50 years and they never talked to anyone, never looked. And you go, well, they didn't have the tools.
But also, I don't believe you.
I don't believe it.
I think a lot of our parents were, and I'm not saying my dad ever cheated on my mom or anything like that, but like everybody's a human being.
Right.
And good parents don't let their kids see their marital problems, in my opinion. Like, so it's like, yeah, your parents may have been, but I'm sure their union is imperfect.
nobody's perfect. Nobody, but nobody's perfect in the way that's like when they're reaching out over DM. You go, you've now taken and found a rationalization to this imperfection.
Right.
Right. And I guess like when I hear that, I'm not like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Right.
I think those people are not part of the solution when they're like, I can't believe men would reach out to you. I more live in fear of that. Because like I want to be in a relationship. I want to be with someone forever and ever and have family and be happy and, sit on the porch and all that stuff. And
we're old together.
Right. And I don't look at that guy in your DMs that's married and think like, oh my God, that crazy piece of shit. I think that's within everyone.
Right.
To go to maybe, look.
And sometimes it's like things don't, I mean, they mostly don't because like even if I don't know the woman, I used to like in my younger years, I'd be like, I don't know her. I don't give a fuck. But now it's like, it's not appealing to me.
Oh no, I can't. I mean, the delete right away. Of that, I can. Of course.
Yeah, it's just like this isn't. And sometimes it's like you have no idea. Sometimes it'll be somebody I'm like, well, he's kind of cute, and then you go and you like Google him because he might be like somebody that people know, but I didn't know. And then you Google him, it's like there's the first picture is him and his wife, and it's just like, hey, wait a minute.
Right, and it's like I don't know. I always wonder like how they're dealing with that, and then also you don't know. Again, this is a lot of empathy, but you're like, what's their relationship?
Sure.
Like, you don't know, like, what, I don't know. It's just all like.
And sometimes it doesn't get to anything physical. And I don't know. I think people should be allowed to flirt, I guess. But people are human.
I'm sure I can understand why you'd be like put off by the whole. You're like, oh, come on.
Exactly. It's like almost like lazy. It's like you already have one. Like, leave me alone.
Right. Talk through your shit. But then what you realize about relationships is like they are shirts that, when they go wrong, it's like they misbutton the shirt. So they might be all the way up the shirt and then they have to go back down to the navel to like fix that one thing that caused this rift in their relationship, and they feel helpless to even talk about it now. Yeah. And now you're just sleeping next to someone that you have this thing sitting in your brain.
Especially if I see a guy's like posting a bunch of like happy family, la la la, this and that. I love my wife,
right? And
like DMing me, like I'm like, so it's not only that I think you're like kind of shitty for doing this, but like you're such a hypocrite,
right?
Like you're such a phony.
You're letting everyone else know, but again, like I take this empathetic view because I'm like, how do you get there? Like I'm like. I really can't stand that people are like, look at this piece of shit. You're
I don't like the mob. I don't like the pile on mob either. Because it's like if you're so ready to pile on somebody, you've got some shit.
Right. I'm more curious as to like, man, when did this family photo change for you? Because I'm also like, again, to go back to like, I'll make it about me when you go, man, I'm looking for that family photo. And I'm not just saying that to be like whatever. I'm like,
you make us jealous of this image that you're portraying. So I am jealous of like when I see this like so in love couple, wholesome, this and that, and it's like turns out that's not. It's just like it's
right. When did you stop? When did you stop saying to your wife, or did you ever say to your wife, "Look, that chick's hot to me."
Right.
Like, which is actually healthy to me.
Yeah.
You know, to go like that you together are like, and she's like, yeah, that's so your type. Like that conversation to me is like a fun, flirty almost between a husband and wife. Yeah, that's a girl you would totally be into. And now you're checking out an ass together and this is wholesome. You know?
I think about my parents growing up in like their neighborhood parties and they would get kind of wasted. And like, I was like, is my mom flirting with the other neighbor's husband? Is my dad flirting with the next door neighbor's wife?
Why is that bowl full of keys on the table?
Yeah.
What's going on?
My mom had a great ass. Like the guys in the neighborhood would like smack my mom's ass sometimes, and I would see my dad like going like, I'm like,
why I oughta? What are you in a Little Rascals? Why I oughta? You gonna spank my wife, will ya?
But there was none of this like bullshit social media then, where it was like all these like and then people were actually like doing some shitty stuff online.
Well, it's funny that you're saying there's like social media is like the the gas on the fire, you
Yeah.
know, on the flame.
Right.
You go, because it's the same with bullying. It's the same with like everything.
Yeah.
Like,
we can attack you here now.
right.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, if something happened in high school, you'd have a day where people were talking about you, and then it went
And it
away.
was over.
And now there's
Like
this
when you peed your pants when you did like the 3-legged
Right.
race.
right, like you, and then someone would bring it up like 10 years later, like I only
Right.
remember this one thing,
Yeah.
and that was it. Like it'd sting, and you'd be like, yeah, I guess I did pee my pants. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I
Why
peed
can't
the
believe
whole
you.
sack. I peed on my
Right.
friend too.
And it's fucked up. You still remember this.
Sorry, Lindsay. I peed on her.
You peed on everything.
I peed
Yeah.
everywhere. We were gonna win the race. I got too excited. I was like a little greyhound. I pissed
This
everywhere.
was in front of everybody?
Yeah, it was like junior high, 13, 14. The
Oh my
worst
God,
time it
that's
could
the
have
most
happened.
embarrassing thing I've ever heard in my entire. You're in middle school. You're in a 3-legged race. You're
Field day.
winning.
Yeah.
Field day.
Which
as
means-
we had it all. We had it at my school
You had
too.
field day. That means like if you went to school where you had to wear a uniform, field day you didn't. So like everybody has their
Oh.
coolest outfit on. They've been planning for weeks.
And everyone's cheering, go, go, go.
We were
And then
winning.
you just pee your pants.
I started peeing and then I made us fall down because I just didn't know what else to do. I like tripped my own teammate, you know?
So you're
And
you're
she's
just
like,
a
"What are you
mess of
doing?"
your own pee.
She's like, what are you doing? And then there's just yellow droplets all over. It was a potato sack. So we each had a leg in the potato
Oh my
sack.
God.
And then she was my best friend though. So she put a sweater around my waist and took me to the bathroom and like
Sweater around your waist. The whole school watched.
everybody.
That's horrific.
Yeah.
And to one of your maybe OnlyFans, they're like, "That's
Sexy.
thank you for telling that story."
Sexy as hell.
So that was what they were into.
Yeah. So, are you having like a party, like a release party? What are you doing? Was Betches throwing you a party?
We're gonna do something. You're more than welcome. Bayard's Ale House.
Oh, let's
when does
go.
this come out?
Friday.
Okay, good. It's already over. So
The party? I had a great time at the party.
Did you have a good time?
I mean, I shook a lot of
We're gonna go-
hands.
yeah,
I
we're
did a
gonna-
lot of networking.
It's hard with a party for a Netflix thing because it comes out. It's like it's coming out at 3 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
So my mom will wake up at
Yeah,
2:59.
she'll be up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she'll be up
that's
to
like my
click
mom.
the first click. I put hidden cameras in the green room and to tape my parents.
That's so funny. Is
It's
that in the beginning?
credits.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was gonna start with
Your parents.
my parents are wild. So
Wild.
like we met at we see each other at the Duplex open mic
all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
It was the best. I loved that open mic.
too.
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And my parents came with my grandmother to that open mic.
No way.
And it's a gay bar.
Yeah.
And it would be like, you know, Michael Brill, who I
Michael
love,
Brill.
and he would be on the mic while you'd be on the mic.
Yes.
And you know, I didn't feel like I was one of the few straight guys, but like I was one of the straight guys
Yeah.
that would go all the time.
Consistently, yeah.
So I loved it so much. I brought my parents and my grandmother, and they were like, "This is awesome." They loved everything about it. Like my grandmother was like, do you still go?" When I ask all the time. And so my parents are characters. So, and like a lot of like, I like my family, like you like your
Yes.
family. So like,
Doesn't that feel rare?
yeah, I think people assume comedians these
Hate
dark,
their
I hate
moms. Oh,
everything.
my.
This
Yeah.
dark past.
Some of them do. I mean,
Some of them, I think we have.
sometimes I hear people talk shit about their parents, and I'm like, you're not over it yet. Like, just
Right, get
shut
over
up.
it. Yeah, he didn't fucking play catch with you. Shut the fuck
Shut
up.
up.
They tried, you know.
I know, they did their fucking best.
Right. You do hear from people complaining about their parents in a way that you're like, yeah, but you still talk to them. Like,
Yeah.
are you just talking shit? You see
Right.
that a lot in the early like open mic days where you'd be
Yeah.
like,
My
what are you
mom's such a
searching
bitch.
for? You
Right.
know, like
Yeah.
I like hanging with my family.
I do too.
And I like the bullshit they give me. Like I kind of
know.
like eat it up a
Yeah.
little bit. So
My mom, sorry,
Go ahead.
don't forget what you're about to say. My mom just yesterday took a video of my dad dust busting the grill.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
I love that. I love that.
She's like, honey, what are you doing? He's like, this has been bothering me.
This has been bothering me as such a dad mom thing. That's such a line.
I know.
So
Go ahead.
So basically, like my mom, if I call her, it's like immediate. Have you gone to the doctor? Have you gone to the doctor? Like shit you didn't think to like think about. She's grilling you, and it's like, especially you're on the phone. You go, okay, I do you want me to hang up with you and book an appointment now? Like you won't even believe me if I had a 3-year lie that I had a cleaning person that would come to a 3-year lie. So for 3 years, my mom would go, do you have a cleaning woman? She would always ask me, do you have a cleaning woman? Do you have a cleaning woman? And there was a point where I was like, I'm sick of talking about this.
Right.
So I go, I have one. And she
one.
goes, I don't believe you. I go, well, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do? You want to come over? She goes, when does she come? I go, every other week.
Nice.
She goes, I don't believe you. And she starts laughing at me. I go, then why even ask? Why even ask?
That's like my mom. If there's ever a chore, even now at my age, like I
Right.
had to renew my passport. So did you get your passport yet? Did you get your passport yet? A day in, a day out. I'm like, Mom, I'll let you know when
Right.
it gets here. Where are we going?
Also,
Do
you're
we
the
have
one
a
that
trip
suffers,
planned?
not her.
Right. I'm like, are you taking me somewhere?
Right.
What do you mean? I'll
Book
get
the
it.
tickets to Costa Rica,
Yeah.
and I'll make the appointment. So they always are nudging me, and I was like, why don't I start the special with them like doing what they do, like. Have you gone to the doctor? Them yelling at each other. Like, it will be 5 minutes. And this happened. 5 minutes before the special, my dad's going, you know I like a Munster cheese. You didn't get me Munster cheese at Katz's Deli. They're like, I know the soda you like. Is it? And then they're arguing about whether it was taped December 9th. They're arguing about whether December 9th is considered Christmas time or not. And my dad's going, it's not Christmas time. And my mom goes, it's December. It's Christmas time. And I'm on her side. I'm like, the Rockettes are happening.
Yeah.
It's Christmas time.
The day after Thanksgiving is Christmas time.
Till Christmas.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And this is the argument.
Right.
5 minutes before I'm going on stage.
What day does your dad think Christmas time starts?
That's the thing. He didn't even have a response.
He didn't have a date.
So then I go, so the plan was to tape them without them knowing and then have them bickering.
So funny.
And then right to, I'm 37 and single.
Yeah, that's why.
It's fun, but we when I put it together, it was confusing as to like, what is this? Like, if you didn't know me,
Right.
I think, and we put it in the credits. So in the credits, you can see my parents like yelling at me.
That's great.
It's great. And then they didn't find out till yesterday.
Shut up.
I've been
Were
holding
they
it
mad?
in. They think it's the funniest
Okay,
thing in the
good,
world.
good,
Oh
good.
my God.
They're stars too. They're probably telling everybody in Boca. Where
Well,
do they live?
Boca.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're telling
of course.
everyone.
I mean, they are like, my mom's like, how much is there? Like, she's like, my hair looks horrible. She's going,
like, do we get paid?
yeah, you got to join the union. You got to start striking.
That's my parents are like that too. My dad bartends on a ferry that goes to Nantucket, and he's always chatting and all this stuff. And he tells this. He thinks it's a joke. He really thinks I should be able to work it into my act. But like, he's like, Kat, these people, they come on the boat and they ask me, do we make a stop? And I go, yeah, we stop at a sandbar. It's like, Dad, it's
New
so
England dad joke. Yeah.
You can use it? Yeah, Dad, I'll try to work in the sandbar joke.
Well, I'm going to work in making fun of you doing that.
You know, in between my butthole jokes, I'm going to throw in that sandbar joke. It's really going to work.
You could get it in there. I mean, I'm now on the road. Like the material now is all about my family. Like I just like talking about them. And I just see these because it's weird because like I see other families in the crowd and they're just like, see you fucking do that.
Yeah.
And I see the kid like hit their mom just like, this is you.
But they're so funny. Like the older they get, the funny. My dad came home, he goes, well, flunked the dementia test.
That's funny that he's like, good luck to you. Now it's your problem.
My mom's like, what do you mean you flunked the dementia test? He's like, well, they tell you 4 words to memorize at the beginning of the appointment. I don't fucking remember any of the words.
He's like, I did the sandbar joke.
Crushed.
And they were like, I guess you have dementia, sir.
And then he's telling him that like, he's telling the doctor that my mom is a bit like is mean because he cleans all the time and it like irritates her. But that's
he vacuums the grill.
Vacuums the grill.
Yeah.
He was always sweeping our sidewalks growing up, and I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Sweeping like the snow or
like the dirt. He would sweep the dirt like into the sewers.
Is he a clean freak?
Yeah, but has like some form of OCD. He threw away all of our family photo albums.
So he just doesn't he's like the opposite of a hoarder.
Right. Because I think because his
interesting.
mom was a hoarder, grew up in like a triple decker in Boston.
I get it. It's all from your parents.
Yeah.
And that's the thing when people complain about their parents on stage, you go, this is like
but-
everyone's kind of a result of this, like, we're trying here,
Right.
you know, like.
He's not like he's a neat freak, but also like this would bother him. Like he would need this, like this
on the edge. Oh,
and
that's
maybe
OCD.
like
Yeah,
this,
he's
like
fucked
that.
up.
So he,
This guy's fucking.
but like
gone.
imagine you're my mom who's like into her osteoporosis exercises, and she's just had a big morning. She walked the dog. They have a pit bull, and she's like just got in her lazy boy, right? Midday nap. She's ready. Feed her up, and here comes my dad. All around her,
just putting
just everything,
stacking
moving.
pennies.
And she's like, "Fucking stop it!" And my dad goes, "I told the doctor," and she says, "She wished she had a husband like me who
Well,
cleans."
that's the thing. It's like you go. This is the right. I have to deal with this, and then there's that. The doctor's husband is just shitting on the couch.
I know, you
And
never
she's
know.
like, that's the one thing that bothers. Yeah, I
think
totally get.
family's
Yeah.
so funny. How long have they been in Boca?
They moved there before the pandemic.
Oh,
Full time.
nice.
They're like out
Well, did
of
they used to be
Boston.
snowbirds, kind of?
They tried it for like a minute, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't for them.
Yeah.
They are such Floridians now. Like they're
I
just
love
like
Florida. I mean,
it's easy living there.
Yeah.
They love it. They go to the beach. They play golf. They play gin. Like they're like they totally like. It's funny. Like they live in a community, and they say that they claim they're the only ones that like never complain about it. Like they think like everyone else has something to say. They're like, we think, and my dad's greatest joy, he said, is just telling everyone how great the community is to fuck with them. Because they don't want to hear that. They want to hear
it.
like, well, the food and this, and they're like,
this.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah,
Everything morning to night. My aunt is sort of like doing a snowbird thing, but they live on a boat in Stuart, Florida.
Oh my God. A boat. They're boat people.
My mom went to visit her. She was supposed to go for like a week. She lasted like 3 days. She was like, "Get me
How's
out
the
of
bathroom situation?
I've never actually been.
Yeah.
I think it's like a nice boat.
But it's like a houseboat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like older, so they're always like trying to fix it, but it is spacious. And then a couple summers ago, they bought a house on the Cape that's close to my mom and my dad. So they're there now until probably October, November.
I mean, it's got to be freeing to be like, we can just take the boat anywhere. That's
Yeah.
got to be the initial thought, and then
Yeah.
you never leave the dock.
And then you never leave
Yeah.
because you're worried it's going to break down on your way to the Bahamas. And I love my aunt, but she's also a wino. So
Yeah, they're like, how did we end up in Bermuda?
she's always pouring red wine over ice. Auntie Kerryn. She's
I like her style. I love a cold red wine. Don't get me wrong.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the pod, Jared.
This was a blast.
good
So
app, dude.
easy, so fun.
So easy.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, this is a mainly male audience, so
Bring it, dudes. You want to
This-
watch a special with your girl? You want to watch a special with your guy? Whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah.
It's a fun special. It's on Netflix. I think they'll like it.
Trailers look great.
Thank you. I think the one thing that like when men get brought to my shows by their girlfriend, or usually I have like big groups of women, they think I'm pandering, I think. And that's not the case. Like they come and then they walk away. They go, "Yeah, this is fucking fun and it was
Fucking
great."
dude
Yeah.
making some good points.
Yeah, and I talk about dating, gender reveal parties. They'll like that joke. And then I talk about body issues and eating at night. So
Love it, dude.
yeah, thank you so much.
Good for you.
I
Congrats
appreciate
on
it.
the special.
Thank you.
Jared.
I'm excited.
Bye.
Throwing ass on the gram, getting laughs at the stand. Only she can, only Feehans. It's only Feehans.